Somewhere right now, someone is being lied to by a person they trust completely. They don't know it yet. They won't know it for months, maybe years. And the strange part is, they had every piece of evidence right in front of them. They just didn't know how to read it. That's what the next 10 minutes are for. Not motivation, not positivity, a different kind of seeing. Because once you learn to read people the way I'm about to show you, you lose something. You lose the comfort of assuming. You lose the ease of being fooled without even noticing it. If that sounds like a loss you're not ready for, stop here. Go back to believing what people tell you. But if you're tired of being the last one to find out, keep going. What follows won't make you cynical. It will make you accurate. And accuracy, once you have it, is a kind of power almost no one else is willing to carry. Notice the pattern. The next time it happens to you, someone stops replying. The moment they no longer need anything from you. Not an argument, not a goodbye, just silence. Where a person used to be, you'll want to explain it. Maybe they're busy. Maybe something happened. You'll build an entire story to protect the version of them you liked. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you. Most betrayal doesn't begin with hatred. It begins with convenience. People rarely plan to disappear on you. They simply stop finding a reason to stay. And the promise they made you was only ever true for as long as it cost them nothing. This echoes a principle at the core of Stoic thought, one Seneca returned to often in his letters, that a person's character is revealed by conduct sustained over time, not by words offered in a single moment. Words are cheap to produce. A pattern is expensive to fake. So here is the shift, and it's smaller than you'd expect. Stop listening for what people intend to do. Start logging what they've already done. One promise means nothing. 10 repetitions mean everything. People rarely reveal themselves all at once. They reveal themselves in patterns, one repetition at a time, to anyone patient enough to keep count. The moment you make this switch, something strange happens. You stop feeling shocked. You start feeling early. You see the ending 3 chapters before everyone else does. Here's an uncomfortable question. Think of the last time someone did something generous for you. Now ask, what did they get from it? Not because they're calculating villains, because there's usually something, a feeling of being needed, relief from guilt, a future favor stored quietly for later. Even the purest looking kindness can still be an exchange. It's just one where both sides don't always know The price. This isn't an insult to human nature. It reflects a theme running through Marcus Aurelius's private writing. In what we now call meditations, reminders, he wrote to himself not to expect people to be better than what they are. He wasn't bitter about it. He simply stopped being surprised, and that freed an enormous amount of energy he used to waste on disappointment. Here's what most people get wrong. They think being dropped by someone means they weren't good enough. That's not what happened. What happened is simpler and colder. In that person's private arithmetic, your value came in second place to their own. There's no cruelty in that, only the ordinary arithmetic most people run without noticing, including you. The strongest prison many people live in is the expectation that others should behave the way they would. Break that expectation, and betrayal stops being able to reach you the same way twice. Convenience quietly ends more relationships than hatred ever does. Hatred, at least, announces itself. Before you go further, ask yourself something most people never do. If everything you've just heard is true, that words are unreliable, that self-interest runs underneath every kindness, then what does that make? The version of you that still gets hurt by it every single time? Not weak, just unread. You've been studying people's intentions instead of their behavior. That ends. Now, picture two men, same effort, same hours, same skill. One of them gets the promotion. The other watches it happen from the next desk. The difference wasn't talent. It was a relationship built 18 months earlier in a hallway conversation the other man never had. Nobody warned him that mattered. Nobody tells anyone that it does. Here is the sentence that will save you years of frustration. The world does not reward what's deserved. It rewards what's positioned. Not the same thing. Never the same thing. You can spend a decade being furious about that gap, or you can apply a principle Epictetus placed at the center of his teaching. That peace comes from directing your energy only toward what is within your control and refusing to bleed it into what isn't. The system's unfairness is not yours to fix. Your response to it is the only lever you were ever holding. The men who win are rarely the most deserving. They are the ones who stopped waiting to be noticed and started building the conditions that make noticing unnecessary. This shift isn't corruption, it's clarity. And clarity, once it settles in, makes the anger you used to carry feel almost embarrassing. In hindsight, fairness was never the rule you were promised. It was the rule you assumed. Here's something that will sound unfair, because it is. A junior employee is 15 minutes late. It's called a performance issue. A senior executive is 15 minutes late. It's called a busy schedule. Same clock, different consequence. Rules were never a fixed structure applied equally. They are a debt collected more aggressively from those with less leverage to resist it. This pattern isn't a flaw to be outraged by. It's a mechanism to be understood. The less replaceable you become, the less the ordinary rules get enforced against you, not because you asked for an exception, but because enforcing it starts costing the enforcer more than it gains them. So the real question was never, why is this unfair? The real question is, what would it take to become expensive, to lose? That answer is rarely glamorous. It's built in rooms no one is watching. Across years, no one applauds, but it's the only path that quietly rewrites which rules apply to you. Leverage is just another word for the rules other people are suddenly willing to bend. Something has already shifted in you, even in the last 9 minutes. You'll notice it the next time someone makes you a promise, a small pause before you believe it. You'll notice it the next time someone disappoints you. Less shock, more recognition. You'll notice it the next time life feels unfair. Less rage, more strategy. What settles into you here isn't coldness. It's the quiet that comes after you stop fighting how things actually work. Marcus Aurelius wrote his private reminders at night for no audience but himself, because even he had to keep relearning this. Epictetus taught the same discipline to students who kept forgetting it. The moment real pressure arrived, this knowledge was never hidden because it's rare. It was hidden because a person who stops being naive is far harder to use. You are no longer that easy to use, but carry this carefully. The purpose of seeing clearly was never to make you harder toward people. It was to make you harder to hurt. There's a wide, important distance between the two, and the men who confuse them usually end up alone, mistaking isolation for strength. Real power doesn't announce itself. It simply stops needing anyone else's understanding to feel real. The most dangerous lie was never something someone else told you. It was the one you already suspected and chose to believe anyway, because the alternative was harder to carry. There's likely one particular lie you just thought of. Comment the moment you stopped believing it. And if you're ready to see more of what was kept from you, subscribe. Next time we go further in